I don't know if you're with me or not, but brainstorming and sharing ideas is the funnest part of the creative process. We decided to skip the boring part of actually making stuff and just do the fun part. I'm your host, Tom Walma,
Ace Armstrong.
I'm GP.
and this is Creativity Wasted.
I have a killer idea. I think you guys are going to like this. And I guess DP is in California now? Like you're out by LA?
Yes, I'm in California. Yep.
Okay, so you're going to pitch this for me, okay? Because this is a movie
Okay.
idea. All right. So do you guys remember the band Spin Doctors?
Yeah.
So like, their debut album came out in like 1990, 1991. It had Two Princes and Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. It was called
Pocket Full of Kryptonite.
Pocket Full of Kryptonite. And the title came from the line of a song on that album, which was my actual favorite song on that album, called Jimmy Olsen's Blues. Jimmy Olsen's Blues is kind of a twist on the Superman story, okay? Because you'll remember, like in the classic Superman, like back in the beginning, Jimmy Olsen was Lois Lane's photographer, and he was always getting himself into trouble, and Superman had to come along and save him, right? But Jimmy Olsen's Blues takes a little bit different twist on it. And it says, okay, well, Jimmy Olsen is actually in love with Lois Lane, because that's what the whole song's about. That's why he's got a pocket full of kryptonite. Come downtown and stay with me tonight. I got a pocket full of kryptonite, right? And he's got the line, I've been competing with the Man of Steel.
Like a child-friendly song,
So
man.
my idea is a movie based on that song called Jimmy Olsen's Blues. And in the movie, Superman, it turns out, is terrible at his job. He's just awful. And the reason Jimmy keeps getting into trouble is not because Jimmy's a klutz. It's because Superman keeps doing stupid crap, and then he gets everybody in trouble. And Jimmy's the one that actually ends up saving them, but Superman takes the credit. And he's like super arrogant, like Homelander from The Boys level arrogant. Not as evil, but, just stupid and arrogant. And so Lois Lane is, in love with Superman. And Jimmy Olsen's like, really? This idiot? This is who you're in love with? He takes his glasses off and he's Superman. He puts them on. He's Clark Kent. And he's like trying to tell everybody Clark Kent is Superman, and nobody will believe it. They're like, look, they don't. And like at one point, I have this idea for a scene in the movie where he like actually takes a picture of Superman and he draws Superman and puts it next to a picture of Clark Kent, and they're exactly identical. Everybody's like, I don't see it, man. I just what?
I need what you're high on. I need your stuff, man.
I have COVID right now, actually, so this is a hot toddy. So
I'm saying when nobody agrees this guy can be Clark Kent, and they're like, what are you high on, man? This guy is not Superman.
Right? Yeah, they're all saying to him, Jimmy, what kind of drugs you doing, man?
Exactly my point. And I have a casting suggestion for you. We can have Robin Atkinson play Superman.
Mr. Bean as Superman. That's fantastic. I love that. And he would give that look like. I got to figure out who would play Jimmy Olsen, because I figure it's got to be somebody that's like not like super good looking, but also like not ugly. So I'm trying to think of like a mid-level actor.
Have you seen that movie? I forgot. There are two cops, and one of them is this comedian who gets the best wife. He has this desk job, and then there is this guy who shoots their like baseball player, and he gets the desk job. It's the story of two detectives, New York detectives or something.
That is every detective movie made in the 80s. Just so you know.
No, that's not it.
Is that the Mark Wahlberg one with
Mark Wahlberg? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mark Wahlberg could really play Jimmy Olsen, because he's like, what the hell?
I think he would be a good choice. I was thinking somebody more like who's the guy? He lost a whole bunch of weight. Curly hair. He's friends with Seth Rogen. It's like in all of his movies.
Oh, it's not Seth Rogen.
Jonah
Hill.
Yeah, Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill as Jimmy Olsen.
By the way, I meant the movie The Other Guys.
Yes, The Other Guys. Yes, I remember that one.
Yes. So Mark Wahlberg could be one of those guys where what's the other guy's name? Will Ferrell? Where Will Ferrell has the hottest ex-girlfriend. He has the hot wife who does everything for him, and this guy is like the most boring person ever in the department. And Mark Wahlberg is like, what the hell? How come you have a hot wife, man?
That's very much like the was it Brothers? Was that the name of the movie?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers. Yes, that's it. Step Brothers. Same kind of setup. Same kind of setup. Actually, now that I think about it, Will Ferrell may not be a bad Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's good at playing the dumb guy. Yeah.
Dumb but arrogant. That's the important part.
When Superman is disguised as Clark Kent, is he even clumsier and weaker? And
I hadn't thought about that, but I think he would probably be about the same, because I think that would actually make it funnier with the whole nobody can tell it's Clark Kent thing just because of the glasses.
Oh, so he acts almost exactly the same, like dropping shit and like talking with a nervous stutter and
using like the same, like have some stupid catchphrase like, "Hey baby, that's right." He uses it in both personas and still nobody can catch on.
Speaking about dumb but arrogant people, how will be Kanye West for Superman?
Kanye could be the villain.
I won't give him that much credit. No, the villain needs to be good, I guess.
We could put in Pete
Davidson.
Pete Davidson. Yeah, Pete Davidson would be a good villain. Mostly because everybody will be happy when he gets killed at the end. That was my favorite part, by the way, of that DC movie, the Suicide Squad. It's a great movie, mostly because Pete Davidson gets killed in like the first 5 minutes.
Now I gotta watch the first 10 minutes, I guess.
Is that the second one with the squid? But he's one of the people on the beach that's taking the island. Is that where he dies? Okay.
Yeah. They're storming the island and he gets killed. Like the whole team gets wiped out.
Okay. Yeah. So in the end, does Superman get a comeuppance, or does he lose the girl but like not get killed? Or
no, I think in the end, Jimmy Olsen just like gets frustrated. I mean, because he ends up, because he's trying to kill Superman. He ends up being kind of an anti-hero. So I think what happens is Superman goes on doing his Superman thing, and Jimmy Olsen ends up like just giving up on the whole thing, retiring to some island, in off the Florida Keys, and doing like wildlife photography or something. I don't know.
So Jimmy Olsen does become a villain and kill Superman, or?
Well, he's trying to, but he never succeeds because as much as Superman screws stuff up, he just always seems to get lucky. That's his real superpower, is that he's lucky. And so every time every time Jimmy tries something, Superman does the opposite of what he's supposed to do. It's like almost like a Roadrunner and Coyote kind of thing.
Okay, now I'm getting the vibe. Because
he'll have this elaborate plan set up, and then all Superman has to do is walk through this door, and then Superman will walk through the other door. It's so obvious that this thing is here, he's going to grab at it, and then Superman comes and doesn't even notice the thing that's obvious in the room.
But then a real villain comes along too, or is he the only villain?
No, I think there's got to be another villain, because he's got to be, Jimmy's going to have to blame the murder on somebody. So I think there's a villain that, Superman's fighting, but Jimmy is not maybe with the villain's knowledge helping him out, like they're not co-conspirators, but he's definitely trying to push Superman towards stuff that'll get him killed by the villain.
But come to think of it, Ace, when you say that Superman just keeps getting lucky even though he's dumb, have you seen Johnny English of Rowan Atkinson?
I've not seen that one, no.
So basically it's kind of a parody movie, kind of a James Bond thing, where Robert Atkinson is like representing Secret Service or like CIA or some other agency. And this guy keeps getting lucky with all his dumb moves. And they're like, this guy is legendary, He keeps getting hold of terrorists and whatnot.
It's almost like a Pink Panther kind of thing.
Something like that. So you gotta watch that movie. It really fits a bit.
I will have to see that one.
Of the Superman that you're looking for. He keeps making all those dumb moves. But somehow all those dumb moves come together to actually help him catch the terrorist. And the main chick in the movie is like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. You were that smart. you should.
That's amazing.
You should watch that.
I'll have to watch that one.
Ace, I could see you playing a villain in a movie.
The villains are always the fun parts, aren't they? I mean, they get the best roles, they get the best lines. I'd love to be a villain.
I don't know why I can picture you as a villain. Not like you're a bad guy, but
because I have the laugh.
What kind of a villain though, Tom? What do you have in mind?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I didn't
what kind of villain would I be?
I didn't think. Tom's like, I didn't think it through, man.
I can just picture like an intense villainous expression on his face.
I can
And it's
picture
got
him
like the
in Game of
booming
Thrones.
voice of like a superhero type movie.
I can picture him in Game of Thrones, like the cruel king and stuff. Like he has that
Targaryen.
Decorated kind of that vibe. Yeah.
Well, my sister is kind of cute, so.
You just hope she doesn't listen to that. Otherwise, Thanksgiving is gonna be weird.
Yeah. The family Thanksgiving video chat's gonna be awkward now.
Uh-huh.
So, do you have like a full plot line of the movie or a title for the movie? Jimmy Olsen's Blues?
Jimmy Olsen's Blues would just be the title. But I don't really have I just thought of the idea. I haven't sat down to write the script yet. But I think it would be a fun show. I think it would be a great movie. Or it would be a terrible movie, but very, very funny to watch.
That title is so versatile. It could literally go either way. It could be Jimmy Olsen is like a middle class person who just keeps going to his dumb, boring job and he keeps having those Monday blues. Or he could be this nerdy virgin who just cannot keep getting laid and he has blue balls.
Or we could change the concept entirely and make Jimmy Olsen like a blues singer. It's some kind of a Superman, do. He's flying through the air, do. He took my girl, do. But I don't even care, do.
Maybe he starts out as a villain, like trying to kill Superman, but then changes his mind. You could do that, like the Step Brothers thing, where they're trying to go at each other, and then they sort of.
Well, of course, because you could find out that Jimmy's mother's mom was also Martha. Batman versus Superman. Remember, they like have this big fight, and then suddenly, like, you killed my mother. Her name was Martha. My mother's name was Martha. Oh, we're friends now.
But yeah, I really like the concept. That's great, actually.
Well, I owe it all to the Spin Doctors, so they'll have to get a credit.
I saw the Spin Doctors. You probably know this, Ace. They were in the news a few years ago because the lead singer was like poor and homeless on the street, and they found out that the record companies stole like all of their. They never made much money because of the horrible record deal.
Well, the lead singer ended up getting throat cancer, and he had his larynx removed.
Oh, geez.
I was like, oh my God, that's just the worst nightmare I can imagine. You make your living by being a singer, and you get throat cancer, and
I think when like Kickstarter was new, I don't know how many years ago, 10 years ago, there was a big Kickstarter for Spin Doctors because at least some of the members were like homeless on the streets of San Francisco or something. Because
wow,
really?
Yeah, because they never made any money on their music because of the horrible record deal. But then they got a lot of money from the Kickstarter campaign, though.
Well, there you go. So it's a happy ending.
I was to say you could have the Spin Doctors do the music for the thing, but not if he doesn't.
Well, I mean, you would have to use "Pocket Full of Kryptonite" as the theme song for the movie.
Yeah,
it would have to be.
That probably holds up as a song. It's pretty good song.
It's a fantastic song. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. Because it's fun and it's quirky, but musically it's also very solid. So I love that song, and I've been thinking about this idea for like 20 years now.
Finally,
because of the damn song.
Thank you for giving him this opportunity.
Yes.
Finally getting this out of his system.
Or are you waiting for the Spin Doctors to die before you use their idea?
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes it a little harder for them to sue me that way, so.
Yeah. I think that's what's going on.
But DP's going to pitch it for me, so.
Yeah, I got you. In like 20, 30 years, when people really know me in Los Angeles, after I'm on the streets begging for it.
And you're going to be like, aren't you one of the guys from the Spin Doctors? He's going to be like, yeah, I am.
Or we could make it in a Bollywood movie.
Well, that would be fun.
We sure can.
I just don't know how the guitar solo would translate to a sitar, though.
Well, they will find a way to don't you worry. I'm pretty confident that way. And we will, of course, dance on that. So there will be dance.
Yeah, right in the middle of an action scene. The villain and hero will stop and dance together and then resume the fight after the song.
Like, your name is Martha, my name is Martha. Let's dance.
It'd be like a flash mob.
Yeah.
I think every Bollywood movie is just an excuse to create a flash mob. That's what they are. They're just...
Oh, really? You really described it in a way, man. Yeah, you just really need an excuse to dance. That's it.
Yeah. Which is weird.
You don't even have an idea. I'm not sure if you have heard a lot of Indian music, but there literally are songs. If you decipher the lyrics mean that like your love really, kills me inside. Like the lack of your love kills me inside. And if you see the beats, if you really do the beats are like they are ready to dance. I'm like, how the fuck are you dancing at a sad song, man?
It's like one of those songs I have that I perform sometimes in my set. It's this like really romantic ballad called "I Hate You."
Oh. That turned bad real fast.
I hate you and I wish you would die.
Exactly. But you're doing it as a comedy. They aren't even joking about it. They're actually dancing on that shit. It's like lyrics rip your heart, but the beats wanna make you dance.
Right.
It's a weird combination.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs is like 15 years old or something. It's by a band called Stereophonics. Mm-hmm. And the lyrics of the song are about a bunch of teenagers who jumped off of a bridge and died. It's like super upbeat, and it's so weird. It's like a
what's the name? What's the name?
Shit, what's it called? I don't remember the name of the song.
Just send it to us after. I want a new song to jam.
Yeah, I gotta have that.
Okay. Anything else with your movie idea before we move on?
No, it's just that we can set up for the sequel, and the sequel can be called Pocket Full of Kryptonite.
Let's say if your movie becomes a hit, and you gotta make another sequel, what will be the name? I think we just need to look something else which could be full of kryptonite, or maybe pocket full of shit, something like that. The full of needs to be constant. The nouns need to change. Is it going to be pocket or kryptonite? What's going to change?
I got a condom full of kryptonite.
all of a sudden, that's a Pornhub movie is. I'm not pitching it in LA. Sorry.
That was going straight to video, though. Just so you know, that's a straight to video flick.
Any shows or podcasts or things you do when you want to promote?
Well, I was supposed to be performing this Thursday, but since I have COVID, that's not going to happen.
Bummer.
So you can announce you have COVID, brand new.
I'm going to be appearing at Captain's Quarters in Burton, Michigan on December 2nd. It's going to be a really fun show, so you can come see me then. And I'm going to perform my Christmas song. Well, one of my Christmas songs.
This has been a production of Planet Amp Podcast, powered by Pinecast.